Hi there. Let's talk about the learning habits, and let's talk about the right ways to learn a language. I see this every day. Students want to find one right way to learn a foreign language. And this is why they fall for this advertising that says unique methodology, proven method. We have 10,000 successful students, and you're gonna achieve the next level with us in the next 3 months. They fall for these promises because they're looking for this one right method to learn a foreign language. And I'm always an advocate for a self-study exploratory practice approach. There is no one right way to learn a language, and there has never been only one method to learn a foreign language. What matters is the result, and what matters is that you really enjoy the process and you understand what you're doing. There's only one rule that I follow, which is I use the target language to learn more about the target language, because I fundamentally believe that better fluency can be achieved only this way. You need to use the target language, not your first language, to learn more about your target language. And when I say more, at this point, for me, more means understanding the culture, understanding people, and it's always been about understanding people, not the language itself as a discipline. Grammar, words, prepositions, articles, these are the details, and I need to get the hang of them so that I can communicate with people. But I've always been fascinated by the fact that I can deliver my message to people, and I can understand people and their intentions and their ideas, and we can work together, we can bring some ideas to life together. And I've always been focused on helping intermediate and above, helping those students achieve better results, because most language schools focus on elementary level students, pre-intermediate level students, and once you hit advanced, once you get an advanced certificate, they say you're in good shape, just go home and relax, you can celebrate now, your English is great, everybody understands you, you're good, you're done. And people know that it's not enough. Those people who are learning English and who have been learning English for many years, they know that intermediate English is very poor English. I mean, it's not enough. I'm not trying to diminish everybody else's results, but I'm just saying that it's not enough for many people. For those people who want to work in an international company, who want to deliver confident presentations in the English language, for people who are responsible for global partnerships, and for people who just, use English every day at work. I should say I'm a bit disappointed, and this whole situation makes me sad, a little bit, when teachers and methods compete for being the best. Look, I just made a list here for myself. For example, there are so many arguments about which textbooks are the best. Cambridge books, right? Oxford books. There's so many conversations around the best textbook. But from many years of teaching, I can tell you there is no one publishing house that publishes the best textbooks for all the students in the world. There is no best textbook. I never actually came to like one textbook 100%. I would always put together different materials for my students, and I would never use one textbook only. Never, because we don't center the process around the textbook. It's a human-centered approach, and it should be centered around a human being who wants to learn. So we look at a person's interests, we look at a person's ability to learn, we look at a person's cognitive skills first, and then we choose a textbook, or many textbooks, or no textbook, right? So then there are so many questions about what's the best pronunciation. Look, what's the best tool to improve your pronunciation? To be honest, I've never taken any phonetics courses, and I'm still struggling to improve the shape of my vowels. I shouldn't probably say the word struggling, but I'm still working on it, and I didn't realize that I actually have to work on the shape of my vowels until somebody told me. And then I heard it. When they told me, then I heard it, that I do need to improve the shape of my vowels, some of them, and the melody as well. But there are so many systems to improve your pronunciation. There's this app, Elsa Speaks. Great app for many people, but I wouldn't say it's the only app you can use to improve your pronunciation. There is the color vowel chart, an amazing, simple, and effective system that helps you visualize the English vowels and learn them, and they have a great app, Blue Canoe. Definitely go ahead and check out the app. They have the free version and the paid version. It's a beautiful and simple system, but I wouldn't say it's enough for anybody to understand how to master the English pronunciation. It's just not enough. It's great, but I wouldn't say it's enough. I studied English. English was my major at the university, right? But I should be honest here. The year I graduated, I didn't really feel like I understand everything 100%. I was supposed to be a qualified English teacher, but I was so embarrassed and at the same time so eager to learn more, because I definitely saw so much room for improvement. And now I understand and I speak English so much better than the year when I graduated. But surprisingly, nobody ever told us about stress, about rhythm, about melody, about thought chunking. I had to, first of all, I kind of intuitively discovered that myself, and then I started doing my research. There is information about what rhythm is, what thought chunking is, what melody is. And you know what? All these people use different terminology. I don't think there is a book or a resource that defines what the English rhythm is, and there is no set of terms that everybody can use and make sure that everybody's on the same page. There are a lot of pronunciation coaches, there are a lot of accent coaches who help you to sound more American or more British, who help you to understand the rhythm of the English language, but they all will use different terminology. I've heard focus words, keywords, operative words. Different people use different words. I know what they mean when I look at the examples and when I follow their work. I know what they mean by that. But if a student who has never seen these terms before, if a student looks at what they're doing, a student would be completely and totally confused. So, and all of them, it's important to mention here that all of those teachers claim that this is the right way to understand the English rhythm, and this is the right way to learn about the stress or the intonations in the English language, and this is the only right way to learn about the melody. And there's this constant competition between teachers, textbooks, publishing houses, websites, linguists. This is what drives me crazy, and this is what I don't understand, because there is no right way. I'm gonna mention a few principles that I follow, and hopefully I'm gonna make it clear to myself and to those people who are watching what is it that I do, and I practice what I preach. What is it that I preach actually? Principle number 1 is that I'm a student. Always. I don't position myself as an authority. I don't position myself as a teacher who knows everything. I say that I have developed a system of exercises to achieve native-like fluency, yes, but I am a student in the system myself. I'm not a teacher who knows everything. I'm not a teacher who gives you correct answers. I'm a student myself, and I keep doing the same exercises every single day myself. This is the principle that I stick to, always, because this is my goal in the first place, to achieve native-like fluency. There is so much room for improvement for me, there is still a long way to go for me. Seriously. And I use the same exercises that I teach my students to improve the quality of my pronunciation, to improve the quality of my communication with people, to improve the clarity of my thought process, to be more articulate, to be a more eloquent speaker, to do better video, to make better videos, and to speak better on camera. I'm learning all these skills together with you, and that's why I'm doing these videos as well. I'm doing them for myself, and you will notice that there will be a slip of the tongue here and there. I will make a mistake here and there, and I'll immediately self-correct myself. Sometimes it's just because I've been speaking all day and I get tired. So there's going to be a slip of the tongue. There's going to be a mistake. Sometimes I will miss an article. I do make mistakes still. But what I care more about is the speed of correction, the awareness. Do I hear them? And can I correct them as fast as I hear them? That's what matters to me. And trust me, in the presence of native speakers, I also don't feel as confident as, let's say, when I speak to people who are all non-native speakers, because I'm also aware of the fact that a native speaker will hear every little mistake, everything that I say incorrectly. They will notice that. They'll hear that immediately. The second principle that I follow is what I mentioned earlier. I use the target language to learn more about the target language. I learn about the language using the resources available in the English language. I use only English dictionaries. If I need to learn the difference between compare with or compare to, I'll go to the English resources to find out. I read English blogs, I listen to English podcasts, and I make sure that I create the environment around myself and in my life where English is available everywhere. It's everywhere, and I can learn from a bunch of sources, from multiple sources. Principle number 3 is that I explore. What if I try this? Okay, that looks like a cool app. What if I try it? What if I try this system? What if I work according to this method? What if I listen to that person? I don't blindly follow what the app says. I don't blindly follow what a teacher says or what a YouTuber says. I give it a try. I explore and see if it works for me. I always adapt all the materials and all the knowledge that I get to what I need and to how I learn. Because I know myself better than anybody who can promise me big results. And that's my job, to understand myself, to understand how I learn, and to know what I should apply, what I should stay away from, and what methods will work and what methods will never work for me. Regardless of how they're advertised and how many following these people have, I will just never touch that. Principle number 4 is that I don't see anybody as the ultimate authority. I believe that we students need to learn to work with the source. That is big, that is huge. If we want to improve our English speaking skills, and if we want to improve our communication skills in English, we need to start working and we need to learn to work with the source. What is the source? The way I understand it and the way I define it for myself, the source is all the people who speak English from birth, native speakers of the English language. Native speakers. Not one teacher, not one YouTuber, not one textbook, and not one person who says they are the expert. I hear this argument so often. Oh, how can this be incorrect? My English teacher said that, or my English teacher said otherwise. Something that your English teacher told you when you were in the 6th grade is still sitting there and is still defining your learning journey. And that is just not right. That is just not right, because so many things have happened since then. Learn to work with the source. This is my absolute principle that I follow it every single day. If somebody says something, I'll listen and I'll say, yeah, that sounds interesting, but I'll go and check, right? And you need to know where you check this, where you find the information, and what counts as the source and what counts as a credible source. Children are the best teachers. If you listen to how children talk, and how they communicate, I think children who speak English from birth are amazing teachers if you can learn from them. But you really need to know how to learn. And the last principle is intention. Intention always comes first. What is your intention? So many people care about being correct and they want to sound correct. Their intention is not to communicate with another person. Their intention is not to connect with another human being. Their intention is rather to look smart. Their intention is to be correct. Their intention is to not receive negative feedback. Their intention is to make sure that nobody notices their mistakes and nobody corrects them. And that's a good intention for a monologue, or if you record a podcast and it's just you talking to the microphone, probably yes, you want to make sure that your speech is clear, that there are no mistakes. But if we are having a conversation with a person, the intention, at least for me, the intention comes first. I want to understand that person. I want to make sure that this person understands me. And if this intention comes first, then you figure out very quickly what skills you're lacking to make sure that communication is smooth and enjoyable for both parties. For example, if you see that people don't understand you because you're mumbling, you can go home and do your homework and work on your enunciation. Make sure that you pronounce all sounds distinctly and clearly. If you end up repeating your ideas again and again because people say, hey, they're scratching their head and saying, look, I understand all the words you're saying, but I don't understand what you mean by saying those words. Maybe you want to go home and do your homework and practice being clear, practice clarity. Or native speakers might give you feedback that when you say beach and bitch, it sounds the same. So you can go home and do your homework and improve your vowels and learn the vowels. And then, these are the little things that you can work on your own. You can improve your t sound, you can improve your r sound, you can improve your vowels, you can improve your consonants. You can do so many other things. You can do your homework once you know what you need to do. But if your intention is just to speak correct English, just like the textbook suggests, or just like your teacher told you, you're just going to imitate the teacher, or you're going to imitate the textbook. It's not communication. I make sure that my intention comes first. So when I read text out loud, and I have a whole playlist on SoundCloud where I practice reading out loud, not because I want to practice reading text correctly, but because I want to practice delivering the message. Will people who are going to listen to my recording, will those people see the image that I'm trying to paint with my words? And it's very important that you establish the emotional connection between the words you're reading and yourself. Like, there is an emotional connection between you and the words. Do you even like these words? Do you understand this word? Can you see that word? Can you imagine it? Can you help others imagine it? These are very important questions. When students start reading out loud, when I give this exercise to students for the first time, most students just read words. He, she, operate, word, color, vowel. You don't understand what they're saying because they're reading words. They're not reading sentences. They're not telling you what they want to say. They're just saying a bunch of words that are not connected in any way, and it's really difficult to understand them. So you want to be attentive to how native speakers communicate. If somebody tells you need to improve your pitch, or somebody tells you need to improve your melody, or somebody tells you want to you want to be more consistent with your vowels, because some vowels sound more American, some vowels sound more British, so you want to probably choose what accent you're trying to imitate, or how you want to sound more American, more British, more Australian, Irish. I don't know what your goal is. For me, I have chosen to sound more American. That's the direction in which I want to continue developing my English skills. But I want to understand everybody. If I choose to sound more American, it doesn't mean that I will, or I don't want to understand Scottish people, or I will never understand Australians. I want to understand everybody, and that is the skill that I'm practicing deliberately. That's my primary intention. I want to communicate with people, and everything else comes second. And whatever it is that I need to improve, I know exactly what it is. Okay, I need to work on my pitch. Okay, I go and read about the pitch. I practice it. I find a coach if necessary. I start with some YouTube videos and I practice it and I say it out loud and I see how good I am or how bad I am, or how, like, where am I actually with that skill? Am I a complete beginner? Let's say if you have never heard about pitch, if you have never practiced pitch, you might be a complete beginner here if nobody ever told you that there is pitch, or that, let's say, American English is influenced by the pitch mostly, not even by stress or volume, but pitch. You might be a complete beginner here, but it's good, because when you start with a beginner's mindset, you're very fresh, you're open to new information, and most probably you're going to learn it very fast. However, if you share the mindset, that we spoke about earlier, when people say, oh, but my teacher told me that, or my teacher never told me that, my teacher never said it's important, so I'm never going to touch that. You believe your teacher, and you're not checking with the source. Learn to work with the source. Children, as I said, are amazing teachers, and they also count as the source, because they speak English from birth. Most probably they speak English a lot better than you do. Why not learn from them? I'm not saying that any system is better, that any method is unique, or any method is better than the other method. There is no one right method. The system I'm talking about, the system of exercises to achieve native-like fluency, they are not about English. And I gladly share links to other authors, to other videos, to other people who do a better job explaining what stress is, who do a better job explaining what melody is. People who take my courses, they know that I generously share all the resources, and if you take my courses, you know that there will be always links to other additional resources that you can explore on your own. I'm not trying to tell people, okay, my method is the best, or this is everything that you should learn, and this is everything that you can learn in this enclosed environment, and don't go anywhere else, don't check anything else, because this is the ultimate truth. No, it's not. I only know that much. I don't try to pretend that I can teach the color vowel system, for example. I don't pretend that I can teach, phonetics, let's say, courses on phonetics or British English. I absolutely can't teach that. But so many people can. And for so many people, it is important to sound very British. So I'll gladly recommend experts and teachers who can teach that. Why not? I am dreaming about a community, for teachers, where smart and talented teachers exchange experience. They do not compete, but they help one another improve their language skills, improve their communication skills, and they share their knowledge, their experience, their expertise, their teaching methods. That would be amazing. No competition, just exchange. If you're a teacher and you want to be a part of this community, please send me a message. It's a community, the way I see it is that we have sessions where we exchange information, not where I tell everybody what to do. And we give feedback to one another in a very open form too. Because there are so many talented, good teachers, and we can learn from one another. And the same should work for students, I believe. I don't think it's a healthy approach to have, especially if you're already an intermediate level student or an advanced level student. It's just not healthy to find one person who knows better than everybody else and to listen to that one person only and to quote that person and to try to be that person. Instead, learn to learn from everybody. There's so many people, and there's so many sources you can learn from, and we're all different people. We share different interests. Somebody likes football, somebody likes boxing, somebody likes music, somebody likes cooking. Somebody will enjoy learning from food blogs. Why not? I have students who have dramatically improved their vocabulary by reading food blogs, and somebody will read only travel blogs, and somebody will listen to podcasts about high fashion. Why not? Why limit students and telling them that this is what you should be doing and only this is what you should be doing? Why? If we can help every student find their strengths, find their interests, and if we can help every student understand how they should explore. Because everybody will explore, using their own set of skills and in their own way, because we're all different. We're kind of all very similar, but at the same time very different, and that is what's fascinating. Let me go through the questions. We have so many questions here. How to improve thinking in English. Join my writing course. We just finished a session with the students who are taking my writing course. You can help yourself identify the thinking patterns that you have and the annoying patterns that repeat when you speak English. You probably know that the same patterns repeat and you make the same mistakes over and over again when you speak English, but you don't have the time to correct those patterns, or you don't have the time to realize what to do with them, right? Or to correct yourself. When you write, you have the time to look at how you think, and you have the time to correct your patterns. And you have the resources to do so. You know what exactly you should be doing, and you will always receive feedback from myself and from a native speaker. We just had a session with our native speaking instructor who's helping students in the course. My last principle that I actually forgot, I didn't forget to mention it. It kind of, it's tied in with the other one. You need to learn about the culture. You need to learn as much as you can about the culture, because if you only explore the language and you don't understand the culture, it's going to be very difficult to be on the same page with people, and it's difficult to understand their thinking patterns. Why do they think this way? And what do they imagine when you say words? For example, we just looked at the word romantic like an hour ago. Romantic. When a Russian native speaker hears the word romantic, a romantic mood, that's what a person imagines. I don't know, something French, a croissant maybe, a romantic view, a romantic place. When a native speaker hears the word romantic, a romantic trip especially, they immediately imagine a couple traveling. Maybe it's their honeymoon, maybe they're dating, and you can see rose petals spread all over the floor. Hotels for people who are in love. So the same words evoke completely different images, and you need to take your time to learn to understand what native speakers see, imagine, and understand when you say the words that you think you understand, because how you see the world and what you imagine when you say certain words is not necessarily what other people see and imagine. And this is the most interesting part of the journey here, understanding what other people see and feel when you say certain words. Because if you build your sentences the way you build sentences in your first language, if you simply translate the sentence structure, native speakers are gonna struggle understanding you. If you speak English in the melody of your first language, so you stress words incorrectly or the sentence stress is incorrect, native speakers will also struggle understanding you. It's just gonna take them longer to understand what it is that you're talking about. I would also add to my list culture. movies, podcasts, cartoons, comic books, and try to talk to people who finished college, who graduated from a university in the States or in England. When they talk about their years on campus, when they talk about their student's life, trust me, there's going to be so many words that you don't know, and there will be so many concepts that are totally new to you. It's impossible to simply translate them. You need to understand them if you want to understand them. So thinking in a foreign language takes time. Learning to think in a foreign language takes time. And I have another video that is titled that way, I believe. How to learn to think in a foreign language. It was also a live video from, I think I did it in August 2021. So check this out. How to manage anxiety related to learning English. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know your situation. I don't know why you're anxious, and I don't know what your anxiety comes from. Should we follow a certain plan if we study on our own without a teacher? Try to answer these questions yourself. Are you the kind of person who likes to follow strict plans? Are you the kind of person who likes to be spontaneous? What kind of person are you? How do you learn best? If you can follow a plan for a week, but then you get tired, overwhelmed, and annoyed, and you want just to stop and quit and never go back to that, maybe it's not working for you. I like to create my own plans. I don't like to follow, and this is what I know about myself, I don't like to follow anybody else's plan. I need to create my own plans, and a big part of learning for me is being creative, creating my own routines, being able to change and adapt my routines to my circumstances, to the way I feel. And I am changing myself, I'm evolving as a personality. My personality is evolving. So what I think is right today might not work for me tomorrow or a few months from now. I'm always attentive to myself. So what other questions do we have here? I guess the other questions were not for me. Students are talking to one another. If you have more questions that you want to ask, simply comment under this video. I'll do my best to reply, or I'll probably make another video for you. Thank you very much for being here with me, and I'll speak to you in the next videos.